How's it going, folks? This is Steve, and we are with Race Day, as always on a Monday night. The NORA Truck Series here at Gateway, or as they now know it as Worldwide Technology Raceway. Cannot wait to get this thing underway. A very, very unique racetrack today. And man, I'll tell you what, these trucks are going to get underway here. A lot of updates to get you going here tonight. Let's go down trackside, though, for qualifying already underway. Right now, here we go. Top of the board is Dylan Banks. And that's going to be it there for qualifying. We weren't wasting any time right now, so we thought maybe one or two would come out and sneak out at the last second, but they did not. So Dylan Banks, your pole sitter. A couple of new names as well on the boards today. So 20 drivers are going to be making their way around this 1.33 mile track. Going to be a lot of fun today. But Dylan Banks going to be on the pole in that P1 spot. Big race today, obviously. A lot of things going on today in the world of NORA. We'll get to that in just a second, but right now we're going to go to the starting grid as we do. Top of the board right now, Dylan Banks. There he is. Brian Jones, you'll know him in P2. There he is right there. Jacob Malone starting off in that third spot. Looking pretty good right there. Timothy Harper going to be in P4. Cody Reeder in 5th place. Chris Snyder in 6th. Austin Smith, there he is, going to be rolling off in P7. Kevin Gunther, P8. Brandon Puffengarter, oh, I'll try that again. Puffenbarger, excuse me, in P9. Anthony Campbell, P10. Todd Schneider, 11th place. Garrett Austin in P12. Dakota Hendrickson. Adam Kulikowski. Edward Peltz. And then rounding up the field right now, the last 5 spots. Not on the track yet, but Kyle Rochelle, Joshua O'Connor, Jacob Gleidelich, and Colton Easterday. A couple of new drivers in the field today, obviously, and we'll cover them as we go. Nick Geilis rounding up the field in 20th. He's actually the choose car today, so he's not going to be officially on the track, but good to see him in there, obviously. Dylan Banks, though, on top of the pole. Going to get this race underway shortly. Gateway has always provided interesting racing, and these trucks, for those of you who don't know, just went through a pretty big overhaul in the world of iRacing. These trucks now have different physics, and from what I understand, at least, they drive a lot different, a lot looser. Some more off throttle time. So I think tonight's going to be pretty interesting to see kind of how these trucks operate, especially after that big update. So right now, here we go. 160 laps. Stages. There will be 2 of them, keep in mind. Lap 35 and 70. 160 laps should be pretty quick. We're going to get this thing underway here in just a second. Not quite a sunset race, but they are starting late into the day, so we might get some sunset action. We'll see as we go, obviously, but hey, the first mark is going to be lap 35. That's where they want to get to for that first stage. Get the stage points. Season is winding down just a little bit, so we will get there as we get going. .75 degrees air temperature, so the track will be pretty hot, obviously, so we're going to see some slick conditions, but I definitely think we're going to get some good racing here as well. So 5 sets of tires in the pits. That'll be pretty huge, too, to get themselves those tires. So here we go. 160 laps, Banks and Jones in the front of the field. Here we go. Starter cam, green flag in the air. We're off. Just like that, fantastic racing so far. Side by side, turn 2 is so hard right here. Look at this, already a driver off way in the back. Who is that? Todd Schneider, I believe. Yes, he is. Already way off the pace right there into the wall. That's not a yellow so far. We're going to stay green. Right now, coming down this front stretch for the first time. Lap number 2 already in the books. A good run so far. Dylan Banks got the pole. Love that Scotch 3M paint scheme right there. Has the plaid on the side of it. Looking pretty sharp today. Jacob Malone, P7, or P2, excuse me, in the 17. Brian Jones, good stuff all around. Big thanks to you folks for being here. Appreciate it. I know we were off last week. The race wasn't off, but we were off for race day. Had some things going on outside of the world of the internet, and sometimes that can happen. But right now, we're going to be getting some good racing under our belts. Oh, man. Garrett Austin knows how to pull on my heartstrings. That Fallout paint scheme, man. Woo. Love that. That 43 Fallout machine looking pretty good today. Todd Snyder, quick update in the pits right now. Unfortunately, has some damage in the front end. We saw him get loose at a turn 2 on lap 1. And that's going to be an early exit, potentially, for Todd Schneider. So, big news there. A little further back, Cody Reeder making a move here. There he is, dives down. Timothy Harper come across the nose there, and off he goes. Take a ride around real quick, and we'll show you what it deals like here in Gateway. Hard braking zone right here. Brian Jones up front right there got a little loose. We saw that out of the windshield. This place is so unique. It's 2 straightaways, 2 long straightaways attached by very tight corners. So it kind of races, you know, just really hard, right? Huge braking zone entering turn 1. And then turn 3 and 4 isn't as bad, but definitely all about rolling that speed into 3, coming out of 4. Yeah, you see it right here. Downshifts, even in the trucks. And off they go. So, not too bad. Sometimes the downshifting isn't the greatest thing to do when it comes to, you know, rolling that speed in the corner. But, I mean, again, with these trucks, with the update, that could all change. Seen the move right here. Dakota Hendrickson just got around the 73. Now making a move here for the 43 of Garrett Austin. So far, so good. Andrew Sauer, appreciate you, man. Good to hear that he's doing good, obviously. Love that. We always love Nick here at Race Day. Oh, big move right here. Hold on. Austin Smith goes around into the grass. Oh, couldn't get it off the inside wall. Comes down pit road. Not a bad transition there to get himself down there, but ouch. Not good. Tried to save it. It looks like he kind of stayed in the gas right there. Can we get a quick replay of that? Let's take a look if we can. Yeah, it just kind of comes off the side of the 99. Just a huge hit right there. That's a tough break for that 9 right there. But comes down pit road. That might not be a huge deal. Fix the damage real quick. There he is. Might be okay to continue. Might lose the lap, right? But again, you can get that lap back by being the lead car. That free pass. All hope is not lost yet. Right now, that front of the pack is still looking pretty good. Banks, Malone, and Jones. Right now, your top 3 looking very sharp. Cody Reeder in P4. Not a bad job so far for Reeder. And again, this place is, you know, tires-wise for me, maybe it's just my driving style, but this has always been kind of a cheese grater for tires, in my opinion. But I will say this is one of my best tracks. It just comes down to rotating the car, in this case the truck, around the turns. If you can really rotate in the middle, and get a good drive off, man, you're going to fly around this place. So right now we're seeing all these guys doing just that. 17, look at Malone right here. This might be a good one to watch out for. He's gaining some speed right here in the middle of these corners. Turns 1 and 2 right there. Got really, really loose, but you don't want to get down below that big seam. It's pretty flat down there. No grip. Right here, though, you really want to get down. Huge arc. And right about here, you really want that truck to turn. And his is doing that, so he might get a good run here at Banks. In no time flat. So far, doing pretty good. Austin Smith back on track. We just saw him get loose and get wrecked on the inside lane. So right now currently in P17, 3 laps down, but obviously still has time to get himself back in. Quick update, Todd Schneider, we saw him wreck in turn 2 of the first lap. He is out of the race, as well as Jacob Gladlich. So just a quick update there. So 17 cars in the race right now. Colton Easterday, new driver onto the circuit, looks like. And that number 9, look at that. Not a bad paint scheme right there. Bright yellow and black. Pretty good. What's that front of that hood say? The Dinner Detective, I believe it says. So interesting. Always curious about new sponsors coming into the circuit, right? Onto race day and stuff. Pretty cool looking car right there. Or truck, excuse me. Not too bad. Who else? Big battle right here, actually, for P13, Kulikowski and Puffenbarger. They might actually even get Garrett Austin. You can see here, the 15 going to get way up high. That can work, but you really have to diamond the corner. You can't just stay up there the entire time like you can like at Kansas or, you know, whatever, right? You have to really kind of diamond the corner. And the 15 truck right now so far, Brandon, doing a bad job. Bunch of good moves right here. So far, caution free, lap 14. Lap 35 is going to be the first mark. That will be stage 1. Oh, there it is on the tower right there. That will be the next caution period as far as scheduled. So that'll be our first stage. Obviously, stage points get paid out. And you got to be careful there because obviously playoffs are looming closer than you think. And right now, Malone actually going to be under fire here by Brian Jones. We thought Malone kind of had something there, but Jones is right on the back end. I'm actually seeing, I think, some damage in the left rear of Malone. Can't quite tell if that's a wrinkle or not, but yeah, it does. Right there on the back taillight. Pushed in just a bit, so some contact perhaps from Jones or somebody else. So interesting. We'll watch that as we go. Shouldn't affect the car too much, obviously. Austin Smith getting through the field. Most likely change tires right there, so going to be pretty fast, obviously, but still 3 laps down. So a long way to go for him. Dylan Banks, pole sitter up front. Brian Jones going to try and find a good way around him right now. Try and ride on board here. Use the gyro cam. This camera's fun because it'll show you the banking here. This place isn't super banked, right, as you can see here, but it is banked enough where it definitely helps. Oh, got a little loose right there. Malone. Jones seems like he has a better handle of his truck right now in the wheel. It's right down there, huge braking zone, hard on the brakes. Can't lock him up. And you saw right there, a huge counter steer. Counter steer all the way back to the right. Not quite drifting around that corner, but you can feel like it sometimes. Lap 18, couple of updates, obviously. Chris Snyder in P9, Dakota Hendrickson in P8. Pretty solid so far. Clean race so far, pretty quiet. Sometimes those are the best. And man, Chris Snyder, what is this paint? Is this a game field paint scheme? Oh, there it is. Nice. Game Fuel, which I believe actually was discontinued in the Mountain Dew world, but I was a huge fan when they had it. I think now they moved on to like Mountain Dew Energy or something they call it now. I don't know. It's like it changes all the time, but cool stuff. I was a big fan of it, but all the good stuff gets taken away. A couple of drivers in the back right now holding on to it. 15th and 16th. Easter Day right there in P15. Edward Peltz right now in P16. Last driver on the lead lap. Take a look at this hot rod right here. Look at this. The Gold Octopus. What is that about? Sounds like a good bar name or something, you know? There it is, the Gold Octopus, number 69. Okay. I wish I knew more. I kind of want to know what that's about, but it's all good. Dylan Banks still up front right now. Hold on. Battle right here for P2. Just kidding. It's Austin Smith. He's coming through. Going to try and get a lap back the old-fashioned way. On the fresh tires. And this is kind of the fast-track way of doing it, right? He's 3 laps down right now, but if he gets around Dylan Banks right here, he'll get a lead lap or a lap back, and then, hey, a caution comes out. Boom. There's one more. At that point, he's only 1 lap down, and he'll get that lap back at the stage. So 3 laps down really isn't as bad as it used to be. I'm going to catch him right here pretty easily. Not too bad. Everyone else is pretty well quiet right here. Here he is making a move, maybe. 16 can let him by. Smart move. He's not your competition just yet, so that's a good job right there. Battle for P2, though, obviously still heating up. Cody Reeder. Hey, one thing that I've noticed about Cody Reeder that we've seen him do time and time again is he's fast when he wants to be, right? And I think right now, hey, the field, hey, 17 cars in the lead lap, and in the race. Not a, huge field, right? But that might mean less cautions and more green flag runs. So, hey, why burn off the tires now, right? Let's just hold on to it. Wait until you have to, make it happen. As right now we're seeing a big battle here. P2, Brian Jones finally got to him. Look at this side-by-side at the line here. Jones going to make that move for P2 officially, so great job there for him. Now going to find himself 1.3 seconds back of Banks. And Jones can get this thing done, man. But again, back to Reeder. I think he's just holding on to his tires, right? There's no need to really burn them off right now. Not a bad move. And as you can see, he's right there up against Malone. So Malone might have used up his tires a little bit more than he wanted to. And we'll see how this progresses, obviously, but everyone else pretty well single file over here. Puffenbarger. Oh, I'm gonna catch some heat for that later on. Steve, why do you keep messing up my name? Uh-oh, who's this? Saw a car way off the pace right here. The 43, Garrett Austin, was into the wall right there. I don't see any kind of issue here, but take a look inside. Does he have wheels looking pretty decent right now? But turn 1 and 2 will be the tell. Is he super tight right now or super loose? I'm going to guess super loose. There it is. There's the downshift right there. Oh boy. And there it is. See, I'm surprised, like as the run is going on, I'm surprised they're even downshifting. Now, obviously, tires are more worn out, so you can't go around the corners as fast. But when you downshift, That's more RPMs, obviously, and more torque to the back of the tires. So that's going to create more wheel spin, or at least, you know, more conditions to get the back end to kick out. So, you know, for me, the best bet right now might be to just not shift, just let that puppy roll through the corners. But a lot can happen here. It's still early, lap 27. Rochelle right now quietly in a P6 spot, kind of by himself. Look at this, about 2 seconds behind fourth and 3 seconds ahead of P6. So just having a good day so far, consistent, right? That's what it takes, man, to have a good day. Good stuff so far. Consistency is king, and I'll tell you what, I've seen some races here at Gateway that can be pretty scary, right? This place is not known to be a haven of incredible racing, but so far it's been very good. And hey, every time we do this NORA Truck Series, man, we always have a good time, and they always put on a show no matter how many cars they have. So looking pretty good here. We just saw Hendrickson got a little loose right there in turns 1 and 2. That is going to be Calamity Corner for sure. Anthony Campbell, P8, holding on to a solid 8th spot in that Subway machine. Love that, man. I had some Subway earlier on. A meatball, what do they call it? Meatball marinara? Not a huge fan of the marinara sauce. I don't like tomato chunks in my sauce, you know? I'm not a chunky, you know, tomato sauce guy. Kind of like people who have chunky peanut butter. It's like, what are you doing? That's just maybe I'm insane. Kevin Gunther, holy, just came around into the camera view slideways, as DW used to say, in that 51. Big move right here. We're looking at the 98. Joshua O'Connor trying to get around below, and he might do it here on a turn 2. And this is for 10th and 9th spot, so this is for stage points here. These two will be the last to get them. You know, at 4 laps, when we throw out that yellow, this is a big move right here. This is 1 extra point. Great job right there for O'Connor to get that move. Solid job. Up at the front, though, still the same thing. Dylan Banks in P1 looking pretty sharp. The gap to Brian Jones was about 1.3 at its lowest as of recent. But right now up to about 1.8, give or take. So definitely holding onto that gap pretty strong. Malone not too far back. And then Reeder has not been able to catch up like we thought. You know, sometimes you wonder if they try and hold off, right, until later part of the stage to really, you know, hit the gas, but doesn't look like that's the case here for Reeder maybe. So either way, I definitely expect at a minimum for these guys to, you know, kind of reset in stage 2, right? You know what the tires can do in 35 laps. You went green the entire way, right? So now you have to adjust, right? Now maybe you know, okay, when can I go? When can I start to, you know, hurry up, you know, or conserve? I think we're going to see a lot of things different in stage 2. Obviously, the sun is starting to set a little bit. I don't think it's going to be overwhelmingly sunset by the time we get this thing done, but the shade should start rolling on into the track. So Dylan Banks, here he is. In that Scotch and Sunny D machine. Looking pretty solid. 3M on the hood. Gonna come around here, gonna win stage number 1. Good stuff right there for him. Typically, once that 10th place driver crosses the line, he will throw out the yellow flag for that stage. There it is. Dylan Banks, going to be your stage winner. There he is. Awesome stuff for Dylan. Big move there for him. Dominant so far, got the pole. And now your stage winner. Really, really good stuff for him. We're going to let them come down pit road and do their thing. We'll come back in just a second, folks, after we go and thank a few sponsors. Stick around. Welcome back right now to the NORA Truck Series here in Gateway. And right now, down pit road, the entire field will come. Got to be careful of that little fence that jets out, as we just saw a couple drivers sideswipe it. You got to be careful there, but so far, not too bad. This obviously shouldn't see a lot of surprises here. We're going to see some Ford tires and fuel and everything in between. So right now, they all come down pit road. It is the end of stage 1 if you're just joining us. Stage 2 will conclude on lap 70, so that'll be obviously upcoming here soon. And like we thought, 4 tires for everybody. No one else taking 2 or less fuel. Pretty standard stuff. So right there, Dylan Banks, your stage 1 winner. Let's see real quick, obviously, if we can bring him in here and talk to him real fast. Where is Dylan Banks? Here he is. Here he is, Dylan Banks, your stage 1 winner, man. Hey, looking pretty good today in that 3M machine. How's the truck feel today for you?
Feels good. The track temp's a little high, so it's a little loose, but I think everybody's a little loose. So just trying to keep the rears from under me while keeping this pace is going to be huge the rest of the race.
Yes, sir, man. So far looking pretty good, pretty fast. How do you think the race is gonna, like go on, right? Like as far as conditions, is it gonna get more gripped up? Do you think as we go on, or is it gonna get looser?
I think it'll get more gripped up as we lay rubber down. It'll get more gripped up, and I think the track temp will go down over time, hopefully. So it should be a little bit grippier around the track, but I don't mind it, not at all. Honestly, my big thing is just keeping track position at this point.
Yes, sir, man. So far, looking pretty good. Good luck rest of the way, dude.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Hey, real quick, too, where am I sending you back to? My apologies.
Flat line.
Flat line. There it is. All right, man. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
There he is. My apologies. Sometimes I yank these drivers right out of their Discord channel, and off we go. But here we go. The choose car is underway right now. Jacob Glidelich, actually, is the choose car, so my apologies for mixing that up earlier. There it is. And pretty good. For those of you who don't know, this league employs the choose car. So basically what that means is just like the real world equivalent, right? They have the choose cone on track, or that logo on track, right past the start finish line. This league right here, they use the choose car. Just like the ASRA Cup Series on Tuesdays that we also broadcast. Drivers, right before the green flag comes back out for the restart, they choose left or right of it, and that's how they determine what lane they choose. So pretty cool stuff. Big thanks to Glidelit right there, obviously, for taking care of that. Here we go. We're going to go back green on lap 40. Of 120 laps remaining, and this race is going by pretty quick, which we love to see, obviously. No caution so far, obviously the one caution for the stage, but besides that, looking pretty strong as we get going. So gonna get a restart here. Same 2 up front. Banks, but also Reeder there as well. So he had a great pit stop, obviously. Was able to surpass Jones and Malone. But pretty good stuff, obviously. It comes down to that. Sometimes pit road is the best spot to make your move, and there he did, Cody Reeder. But here we go. Gonna go back green here, lap 40. Stage 2 about to start. Here we go. Oh no, and a huge wreck here in the front stretch. Oh my word, Brian Jones, Reeder. Oh, all kinds of drivers up at the front. Oh no, Chris Snyder, really pretty well damaged. Edward Pelt, I believe that is, involved as well. Oh man. I believe it all started with Reeder. I think he might have either money shifted or didn't get that truck rolling like he thought. We'll go back to it real quick and take a look. Let's ride on board. Yeah, spun the tires. Managed to keep it going. We'll go back once more and get a good understanding of what happened here. Try and go for the cockpit view, or the chopper view, excuse me. So what happened? Reeder just doesn't go right there. Looks like maybe missed a shift or spun the tires. And away they go. Ah, man. Tough to see right there. Obviously, we don't like to see that happen, but hey, mistakes happen, folks. This is not an easy thing to do, and Reeder, unfortunately, just had a bit of an oopsie right there. So we're going to restock the field. Dylan Banks going to be your leader still. Brian Jones was involved in that as well. Has some pretty significant damage here in the left rear. So obviously, may have to get that fixed. Most likely will. Cody Reeder as well has some damage on the fronts, in the back. That took out some heavy hitters, obviously. So we'll find out here pretty quick if they come down pit road. And while they do, we'll step back. We'll step away here for a second, folks. Come back and thank some sponsors. We'll come right back for you.
Hey guys, this is Kevin from KK Woodscapes. Wanted to say how excited we are to be a sponsor for the ASRA Cup Series this upcoming season. This is just some of the pieces we've created over the years. We can work with you and bring any special victory to life. To order, or if you have any questions, please scan the QR code for Instagram or contact me through the Discord. And hopefully, we'll be bringing your virtual victory into reality one day.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the NORA Truck Series here in Gateway. And man, a lot of drivers have come down pit road right now after damage at the beginning of stage 2. We tried starting it off, and man, Cody Reeder, Brian Jones got together after Reeder assumedly had some kind of a shifting or wheel spin malfunction. And right now, this changes quite literally everything right now. So a lot of drivers up in the front. Dylan Banks, still your leader. Anthony Campbell, Harper, Rochelle, and Gunther all in the front as well. Brian Jones fixing some damage. There he goes. Going to get in front of that pace car to not lose a lap. Cody Reeder not going to get salvaged the same. Malone right there as well too. So bunch of guys down pit road. A lot of your leaders involved in that, so we're going to have to watch out and get them back to that front. The good thing is, obviously, this field is not massive today. It's still about 17 trucks, so that's pretty good, obviously, but still a long time to work your way back to the front. And right now, lap 44, pace car lights are still on, so we're going to take just about a couple more minutes to go. Should go back green on lap 46 next time by. But everyone right now looking pretty good. Dylan Banks, Campbell looking pretty strong up there right now. And that sometimes is the case here, right? I mean, Gateway is one of those shorter tracks that it can be tough. It's not easy to race here. And, it's one of those things where it could just come down to that attrition factor, right? Just keep all the fenders on the truck. Don't try and be a hero too early, right? And just get yourself to the end. And right now, that's what a lot of these guys are doing so far. So that can be huge. But the pace car is off, obviously. The lights are off, excuse me. And everyone going to be deciding to choose their line. And then off we go. Lap 46 will go back green here. Again, lap 70 is the end of stage 2. So we're going to get to that pretty quick in about 25 laps. So here we go. Pace car going to make a hard left-hand turn right here. Going to go back green on lap 46. Green we are. A good restart right there. And away they go. Good stuff so far. Couple of moves right here already. O'Connor going to get around Gunther right there. That's going to be for a top 5. Kulikowski on the inside, the 17. A lot of these guys in the back just had damage, right? So they have to work their way back to the front. Still plenty of time to do it. Brian Jones already making his move early. 9th place, gonna maybe get a 2-for-1 deal right here. Not quite. As the fresh tires, gonna go 3 wide here. Might take a look. Yes, he does. Tough corner to go 3 wide into, but how does he deal with it? Sends it down, way down low right there. He can make it work. It's gonna get loose. Uses up that 43 just a little bit, but makes it stick. Great stuff by that 45 right there. A little further on back, Austin Smith. And there he is, and just like that, with those cautions in the stage, here he is on the lead lap right now in P11. That's how fast your race can turn around, folks. And there he is. Good stuff right there for him. Garrett Austin, excuse me, in P8. I thought for a second he was going to get passed by the 34, but not so far. Dylan Banks up front, looking pretty dominant still. Timothy Harper in P2. Haven't talked too much about him today, but looking pretty strong as usual in that 99. Let's take a look at that truck right there. Premier Racing Setups. There it is. Looking strong as usual. Love that. Kyle Rochelle, we talked about him earlier, right? Quiet. Was running in about that 5th or 6th, and right now up to P3. Not a bad job so far. Campbell, O'Connor. Reader obviously had some of that bad damage at the end of that. And it moves over here. I'm not sure if he's either down on power. Let's take a look real quick, actually. Is he down on power or... The toe on one of his wheels, front end wheels, might be off. Oh man, he is fighting that truck. Yeah, it is definitely not in good shape right now. We couldn't quite tell if one of his, front end tires were a little pushed in or whatnot, but man, just by the driving style, that truck is not healthy. Really unfortunate, obviously. Had a very fast truck. That can happen, folks. Pretty quick. 34 right now. Adam Kulikowski trying to do what he can to get around that 43 in just a little bit. Gonna go side by side now. Austin Smith here. And Smith looking pretty quick now. Up to P10, gonna try and go for 9th here. There we go, still side by side, but trying what he can. There he goes, right around Austin Smith after a pretty rough start of the race. 3 laps down and got involved in a wreck earlier on. Now up to P9 on the lead lap, so strong stuff right there for him. Quick update on a few drivers. Jacob Malone, who we saw in that top 3 for the majority of that first stage, is now back to 15th, unfortunately, after that collision at the beginning of stage 2. Right now, 1 lap down, but again, we saw Smith come back from 3 laps down, so he is not sweating that one out, I'm sure. Edward Peltz, pretty well banged up, it looks like. Doesn't seem very quick right there. Might have some engine damage. Hard to really tell, but that truck does not look the same. So those 2 1 lap down. Malone does have that lucky dog pass, or that free pass position, so that'll happen if he were to get it. Smith making a move here around Austin. And Austin Smith continues to move his way up. So he's got a fast truck today, folks. Austin Smith. I think right now you figure, these next 15 laps before stage 2 concludes at lap 70, get yourself to the front as much as you can, right? And then work your way. Easter Day, looks like he just zapped himself to the pits. Couldn't quite tell what that was about. Let's take a look real quick if we can. Race day replay. Oh, the 9 goes around in turn 2, I believe that is. Hits the wall just like we saw, I believe, Schneider earlier on. And that'll be it for him. Brings it right to the pit road. And we're going to show you this replays, folks, when we can. And luckily we did right there. So our team is on it today. Dylan Bangs up front with a 2.33 second lead. Looking extremely, I'll tell you what, I don't know who's going to beat him today. Looking very, very good. A couple of the heavy hitters are out, right? Not out, but down and out, I guess. Brian Jones, pretty well beat up. Cody Reeder doesn't look the same. Gonna be a tough one, man. Austin Smith, though, I'll tell you what, look out for him. He is on the move right now. Brian Jones going to make a move. Oh, he just did, actually, against O'Connor. Got around him. So right now, we're about 12 laps away from the end of stage 2 already. So far, fantastic race. That 43 trying to peek out right there. Garrett Austin trying to make a move around Puffenbarger. Can't do it just yet. Let's take a ride on board real fast and see what he's dealing with in that truck. We're still seeing the shifting. We should see that the majority of this race obviously comes down real quick. You got to be careful there too. They don't talk about it, but right there in that heavy braking zone, you can't get too deep into it. Depending on how you set up your brakes, if you hit the brakes too hard right there, that back end's going to kick out and you're going to drift and not do what you want to do. So all depends on how you put that brake bias, but looks pretty tight actually for Austin in turn 3 and 4. Truck does not seem like it wants to rotate, but he's making it work in that fallout machine. Pretty good stuff. Timothy Harper, P2. We're seeing Rochelle catching a little bit, not necessarily a whole lot, but not doing bad either. Anthony Campbell holding on to that 4th spot. Brian Jones in P5 already, so he's going to make his way back to the front in a little bit. So far he's getting there. O'Connor 6th, Austin Smith, Gunther. Everyone right now just kind of chilling. Not too bad. Again, Peltz right now is on the 1 lap down, as well as Malone. Chris Snyder and there he is right there, the number 22 machine, Game Fuel. He's not in any trouble of going a lap down. He's still about 14 seconds back of the leader, so he's got a ways to go until he gets lapped. Definitely shouldn't be getting lapped by the end of the stage, so we'll just need this thing to come to a conclusion to get himself into a better spot. But so far, pretty quiet. Dylan Banks up front real quick. Let's take a look on board. See how he's dealing with this truck. Obviously, he looks very, very smooth in the wheel. Gets around. Take a ride on board here, Dylan Banks. Has to kind of counter steer entering into turn 1. Yeah, and you saw it right there. Basically just manhandling this wheel to get around turns 1 and 2. The truck wants to kick out. You're seeing it here. Really rolls around the corner pretty well. A lot of counter steer. Keeps it going. So you really got to... This is a driver's track, right? This isn't one of those tracks where you can just kind of easily get around, right? It's not like a Vegas or a, I don't know, a Charlotte maybe, where it's a lot of, on throttle time. You kind of just mosey on around and you lift a little bit here and there. No, this track, it's all about handling and really about just making sure you understand that truck and how to drive it. And right now, you can see it. It races kind of like a road course, I guess you could say, right? Downshifting, some counter steer to get it off the track, and that can happen for sure. Right now, though, we're seeing some great racing. Single file, but hey, that's good stuff. A lot of these guys, I think they know kind of what they're getting themselves into, right? Right around that lap 70 mark. Once stage 2 concludes, we're not going to be quite at halfway. We'll have about 10 laps to go after that, but either way, good stuff. Brian Jones trying to make a buzzer beater move here at the line. About 4 laps to go here before we get to stage 2 conclusion. And he's on his way. I mean, right now he's about to try and pass Campbell. Oh, got slidey loose right there. Let's ride on board if we can. Gonna track down Anthony Campbell. See, right here, he gives up a little bit of that corner entry. Lets it roll. And I bet his corner exit's pretty good. Maybe not. Doesn't really have that. I thought he would, but... So far, getting it done. Campbell deciding to choose the way down low lane, which is interesting to me because you can really get loose right there. And Jones really catches him. Look at this run he has right here. He's going to show his nose down low. He should get the pass here for sure. And he does. Going to get a great rotation there. And that right there, folks, is for P4. So Brian Jones, even after the early stage 2 incident. Hold on. Campbell going to try and make a move here, but there's no way. That inside lane, it cannot stick. Jones going to get a better run off here in the middle. There it is. Should clear off his nose here on exit. There it is. Completes the pass for sure. So far, a great move right there. Everyone else staying in line right here. The 43, I believe, just had a bit of a moment. Got loose out of turn 2, but no passes in sight. Dylan Banks up to a 3.5, almost a 3.5 second lead up against Timothy Harper. So this is Dylan's race in the bag, unless something happens, right? And we saw a little earlier some guys having some big issues. They cannot have that again, obviously. Timothy Harper, great spot to be in. Rochelle third. Brian Jones, though, going to be tracking down that third place of Rochelle. But Dylan Banks, once again, once that 10th place car crosses the line, he's going to be your stage 2 winner once more. Very, very good stuff. Got a move right here for P8, P9, I believe this is. Yes, it is. And that's it. That will be the lineup. Looks like Kevin Gunther going to be 9th, and Garrett Austin going to steal that 10th spot. So Dylan Banks, once more, is going to be your stage 2 winner. Good stuff for Banks right now. Has the perfect game going so far. The pole, the 2 stage wins. And can he get that race win? Could be very huge for him, obviously, to get him that. So right now, we're going to let them get back going here. We'll go and thank a few of our sponsors, folks, and we'll come back shortly to get stage 3 underway. Stick around.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping, Rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, Rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
Hey guys, this is Kevin from KK Woodscapes. Wanted to say how excited we are to be a sponsor for the ASRA Cup Series this upcoming season. This is just some of the pieces we've created over the years. We can work with you and bring any special victory to life. To order, or if you have any questions, please scan the QR code for Instagram or contact me through the Discord. And hopefully, we'll be bringing your virtual victory into reality one day.
Welcome back, folks, to the conclusion of stage number 2. Dylan Banks is your stage winner once more. And so far, a fantastic performance by him. So far, a great job. Right now, we won't bring up Dylan Banks again. We can bring up somebody else, though. So I'll give the chat. I'll let you guys decide who we bring up to go and talk to. Give me a name. The first name I see. And we'll bring him up into the booth and talk to him about his race. Let us know. You've got like 30 seconds to tell me. So go ahead. And if you don't, I'll pick somebody. It's that easy. Choose car, though, is coming up. I'm going to find out real fast what they choose here. There he is, Glidelich. Let's do the choose car right now. Here we go. Gonna find out what lane they choose. A lot of drivers splitting it right here, obviously. The high line is preferred, I feel like, because you get that better entrance into turn 1. And there it is. Good stuff. I just saw the 73 Anthony Campbell. That's who we're going to talk to right now. Let's see if we can sneak him in real fast before we go back green. We've got like a lap. We have plenty of time. Anthony Campbell, where is he? If I even see him. Here he is.
I mean, I like it, but...
Yeah, you do. Anthony Campbell. Steve in the booth, man. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Hey, I asked the chat. I'm like, hey, who do you guys want to talk to real quick before the race goes back green? And they said you, man. So, hey, how's the race going right now? Looking pretty good. P3. Truck looks pretty strong. What's it going to take, man, to get this win?
Dylan Banks to wreck out.
Okay.
I mean, I hope he doesn't. He's got a fast truck, but that's ideally is what it's going to take.
All right, man. Yeah, looking pretty strong. But, hey, good luck the rest of the way, dude.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, let me know real quick. Where am I going to send you back to? My bad.
Harper Motorsports.
There it is. All right, good luck, dude. The second time I've done that today. I pull them from their channel and I completely forget what we're going back to, so it's all right. It's a Monday. I had a coffee earlier, but I'm cooked, so it's all right. Just kidding. Up front, though, Dylan Banks, Timothy Harper, still your leaders. We're going to get back going here. Third stage, the rest of the race. No more stages to go. And this is it. Here we go. Lap 75. We're back green. So far, great stuff right here. We're seeing Brian Jones trying to make a move here on the outside lane. I thought he was going to try and throw the needle real quick in the middle, but doesn't do it. Good stuff. Restarts, as you know, are always hectic, and Brian looks pretty quick, but Harper is under fire here by Campbell on the outside lane. Again, that seam right there is what you don't want to go down below. It really upsets the truck. Brian Jones here is making that good move. Good stuff right now. That's for third spot. He's going to be on his way to get around. Right now we're starting to see single file racing. So just about halfway. Halfway is about lap 80. 3 laps to go until halfway. And so far the race is going by pretty quick. Looking good already. Dylan Banks, though, still takes that commanding lead. I don't see anybody, honestly, forwarding his effort today. Looking pretty quick. Maybe Brian Jones if he gets back to him, but still half the race to go, folks. So a lot can happen in a short time. Not a bad job so far. Lap 79. 1 lap to go here until we're at the halfway point. And man, Dylan Banks looking very, very sharp. Timothy Harper, though, under fire here, maybe in just a second, by Brian Jones. There he is. Brian going to make a move here into turn 3. Remember, there's Jones with P2. So Brian Jones has found his way back to the front. But look no further. Look at this. Austin Smith as well right here in P4. I've been talking about him all race long. I really think he's got what it takes to get himself up to the front. He's in P4 right now, obviously, but he's showing some speed. He's going to look at getting around Timothy Harper in just a second, and I think when he does, it might even be right now. Look at this. There he is. Man, good move there for Smith, and he's in third spot. So I feel like these two right here, based off of what we're seeing for speed, I think these are the two that can compete with Dylan Banks. But Dylan just seems like a guy who's just not going to make a mistake today. So a lot can happen still, but Brian Jones in P2, Austin Smith in third spot. Find out what happens here for them. Harper, Rochelle in P4 and 5. A lot of guys are going pretty fast today, but long way to go still. A couple of drivers are out of the race, keep in mind. Those are going to be Snyder, Hendrickson, and Easterday, unfortunately. All out of the race right now. Chris Snyder is being shown as in the pits, but I believe he's also out of the race as well officially, so we'll get word on that in case that changes. But Chris Snyder out, as well as... Oh, that's it, actually. Edward Peltz still on track. Got hit pretty hard in that Stage 2 kerfuffle, as they say, at the beginning of Stage 2, and hasn't really been the same since. And right now, though, up to P14. One lap down, however, but in that free pass spot, so not out just yet. Kulikowski, the last driver on the lead lap. Garrett Austin as well. That's for 12th and 13th, so not too bad. Reeder just made a move right there around Puffenbarger. So he looks to be in decent shape right now. He might have gotten some more damage fixed in that truck. Let's take a ride on board real quick and see if we can hear anything different about this engine. I mean, yeah, so far I'm not really hearing anything different. The truck sounds alive at this point. Most likely got that fixed. Looks like he's back to looks like he's back to a competitive truck once again, catching the two of these drivers pretty quick. Campbell, O'Connor. A good fight right here. Campbell on the outside right here of the 98. O'Connor. Both trying to hold on to a top 6 spot. Super respectful. Oh, the 73 gets a little loose right there. Gotta be careful. When you downshift right there into that lower gear, you gotta be super careful to not do it too soon because the back end will kick out like what we just saw. Gotta be oh so close. Not bad though. Great racing. Solid job. Reeder, though, on the inside of Campbell. Reeder going to shoot it in right there, down low. You can make the inside lane work like oh no, Reeder in the middle. Just about to say, you can make it work, but you get just so loose. And now we're 3 wide here entering turn 3. Very good stuff. They make it work. 17 going to use up the 7 a little bit. Door slams. The 73 might be thinking about going 3 wide. Doesn't do it. Pulls out. Not a bad move so far. Reeder. Little slide job right here. Maybe going to go down low of the 17. This is great racing. Everyone holding on to it. As the preferred line, obviously, entering 3. Good stuff right now. 17 trying to stay tight to that. Oh, the 73! Super loose. Out of turn 4. holds on to it. And Reeder, you can just see the frustration building. Yeah, Reeder got loose right there. So far, man, good stuff. Everyone doing what they can. Dylan Banks, a 1.5 second lead right now over P2 of Brian Jones. Brian Jones is cutting into that lead just a little bit every lap. It's not a whole lot, but it definitely is chopping down just a little bit. Austin Smith in third spot, about a second behind Brian Jones, and then Harper as well in fourth, Rochelle in P5. So far so good. Man, great racing. And Reeder lost a lot of time right there on Malone. Reeder's still sideways. Oh my word. Let's ride on board real quick with Reeder. This truck right now is an absolute handful, and you can just see it. Downshifts properly, but got to be so gentle on that throttle. Gets it back going. Kind of dives it in right there. Already sideways. And all those little moves right there, keep in mind, folks, that wears down the tire. Every time you do that, right, it just takes away more and more rubber. So you really have to be careful, be super smooth. You know, even if it means you're a little slower, right? Got to save those tires. And right now, all these little movements just kills it. Chris Snyder in the chat, yeah, you were jumped. Yeah, I feel bad, man. You had a pretty good ride right there, obviously, and unfortunately, yeah, that's sometimes how it goes. So, tough break for Snyder. Had that pretty sweet Mountain Dew game fuel car, I believe. This was that paint scheme, so good stuff right there. Nothing changing up front, folks. Still a 1.5 second lead. Hasn't really changed a whole lot. Everyone else looking very, very strong. The battle for a second was this battle right here. Reeder and Puffenbarger. So far, it kind of still is. These guys are getting pretty close. Reeder lost a lot of time there a second ago up against Campbell and Malone, but it's in the back end right there of Reeder. Not too bad. Some drivers back here still battling. Look at this. Campbell and Kulikowski. Lap number 93. We are winding this thing down, folks. Keep in mind, stage 2 has already been concluded. Dylan Banks was your pole sitter, as well as your stage 1 and 2 winner. So far looking to do the perfect game today. Has that 1.5 second lead, but I'll tell you what, it's not going away. It's not getting bigger. So Brian Jones just has to find a way to get himself a little bit closer. And we'll have green flag pit stops here in a little bit, not quite yet, but that could be huge, right? The money stop. You have to get yourself into the pits. And then out of the pits cleanly. Green flag pit stops here are unique, right? Because they have to come off onto the access lane in turns 3. Come all the way down and across into the pit lane. So it's a little bit unique, so you can't spin out or get into the grass or, things like that, right? There's a lot more factors involved in coming down pit road here. Right now we're seeing that 73 still moving his way back up. Started that restart. Oh no, hold on to it. I thought he was destined for that inside wall, but he made a good save there. Good stuff. Campbell, he did restart that recently after that last caution. in third spot. So he has a pretty quick truck, but right now just sliding backwards a little bit. Definitely has to find the handling of that truck, which I feel like is the storyline today, right? Hot track, you know, yeah, sure, there's grip being built up, there's rubber being put on the track, but I don't think it's a whole lot, right? As Dylan mentioned it earlier. So I think this is really going to be pretty key so far. That's kind of the storyline today in my mind. It's just the truck. It's just so loose. Look at this. Reader goes around right here. Thought he held on to it, but he didn't. And goes around for Reader. Caught that in the nick of time with that camera, but man, Reader just goes around. We've seen him these last, man, 10, 20 laps. Just so loose. If we can take a look at that real quick and find out what actually happened. Yeah, just lost it. Just flat lost it. And that can happen, right? It's that easy. You're on the edge so much here that it can happen. And right now we're about 30 laps into this green flag run. So the stages were about 35, the first one, right? So they know what these tires are going to feel like 30, 35 laps into a run. And right now we're seeing that. So one thing to watch out for, though, Brian Jones is now cutting into that lead significantly. It was about a 1.5, 1.6 second lead for a while there. And now it was just about 1.4, 1.3 a second ago. So he's finding something. But let's just watch Brian Jones for a second. I feel like he's being super smooth on the wheel, which I really feel like is the, oh lordy. Not right there though. Yeah, see, they're all downshifting, which is good because you get that torque and that kind of extra oomph on the exit of the corner. But I really feel like I'm curious to know if there's anybody in the field who's not downshifting. You get a better handle of the truck, obviously, at that case, but look at that countersteer. Oh my. These things drive like an ARCA car now, and it's pretty interesting to see because before they handled pretty well, and after the update recently, if you didn't know, they just updated these trucks once more to kind of include some more dynamics, you know, better physics of the truck. Now they match the actual real-world truck a lot better, and yeah, we're seeing some pretty difficult driving so far. A little further on back, Malone and Puffenbarger getting pretty close together. This is for P7. Looking pretty solid. Further on back, everyone else is laying low. Austin, Gunther, Reader, after his spin out right now in P13. Peltz is being still shown as 1 lap down. He is in 14th spot, so again, still that free pass truck if he were to get a yellow flag in the next 58 laps. Reader, however, is 27 seconds back of the leader, so he's at the line right now, and Dylan Banks is coming around. So momentarily, Reader might be in trouble here of going a lap down if Banks were to catch him, but so far, that's not the case. Right now, folks, we'll take a quick break. Race day nonstop. We'll go and thank all of our sponsors, and you will not miss any action on track.
Hey guys, this is Kevin from KK Woodscapes. Wanted to say how excited we are to be a sponsor for the ASRA Cup Series this upcoming season. This is just some of the pieces we've created over the years. We can work with you and bring any special victory to life. To order, or if you have any questions, please scan the QR code for Instagram or contact me through the Discord. And hopefully, we'll be bringing your virtual victory into reality one day.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers full sleeping. Rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight. Rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
Alrighty, folks, we are back to the NORA Truck Series here in Gateway, and we have a battle brewing right here for about a P7. Man, Puffin Barger and Malone right here. 15 and the 17, both battling pretty hard. Brandon trying to find a way around. That might be it right there. 17 got real loose. Can't quite get that run just yet. That's kind of the key here, right? Is get a great run off of turn 2 and then set up that driver in front of you to a pass down low in 3. If you can do that, you're pretty successful here, so right? So turn 2 exit might be the most important thing you can do here, but it is just so tough to do. Up front still, Dylan Banks is being shown as P1, dominating this race completely. I believe actually or is leading every single lap. I'll have to look into that real quick, but man, super good performance. Won the pole, won both stages, obviously. Looking very strong. Brian Jones was at about a 1.3 second gap, but right now lost about a second of that. Got a little loose here in turns 1 and 2. The truck obviously starting to fade away a little bit. Not doing too bad though, still in P2. Smith and Harper looking very stout right here, doing what they can to hold on to it. Kyle Rochelle as well in P5. Might be getting pressured here soon by O'Connor, but nothing too bad. Either way, green flag pit stop should be here pretty soon. And I think that's going to be huge because these drivers have not seen or dealt with these tires yet, right? On these green flag runs. We saw stage 1 go the longest, 35 laps of green flag racing. And right now, we're approaching about 40. So this is the longest time they've seen. And look at this, Reeder making the first dive down pit road here on lap 109. Was already in the back of the field, so probably a pretty smart move here. And just, just as unfortunate as this race has gone for Reeder, he's still a favorite in my mind, right? He's still a guy who can, pop off and win this race. A couple of cautions work out his way and track position. Looks like 4 tires potentially on that truck. Yes, sir. There we go. Dylan Banks going to be right here. And when do the leaders come down pit road? That's the question. Brian Jones, just like that, they come now. Brian Jones going to come down here. Austin Smith as well. And this is going to be a bit of an undercut here by these drivers. This is big news here for Brian Jones. They feel confident. Obviously, they can come down pit road and make the fuel last. So this is big. This should force Dylan Banks to come in right here. Yes, it does. He's on the access road coming down pit road. Brian Jones going to get about 1 lap advantage here on tires. That might not be enough to close that gap, but it should close it a little bit. 4 tires and fuel, and off he goes. Rochelle as well comes down. Harper does not pit yet and inherits the lead, so going to get a lap led there. Smart move right there. Get one more playoff point there for your playoffs. Playoff run, not a bad move. Still does not come down pit road, but Banks and Rochelle are. They're both that are taking 4 tires, obviously. Rochelle in the pit box as well. Now we're seeing O'Connor, Malone, both coming down pit road. A couple of guys that are fast, obviously. Malone, we saw him as a top 3 contender earlier on. Right now, just been kind of fighting through the adversity in the handling. Gunther, oh no, spins it out on pit road, coming down into it. See if we can find it out real quick. How he spun. Here it is. 51 of Gunther comes down pretty fast and just whoop, loops it around. Okay, no harm, no foul. Obviously, doesn't hurt that truck, but obviously we'll lose a lot of time there. Puffenbarger comes down in the 15. Surrenders top 5 spot. Right now, though, Harper has elected to stay out. This is an interesting call, obviously. Not a bad move, though, right? This is one of those things I tell people, right? If you pit with the leaders, and if you do what the leaders do, you're going to finish behind them, right? So you got to make a move here. Try and make something happen. And right now, this could be it, right? Stay out until you have to come down pit road for the fuel. Hey, maybe you get a yellow flag right here, and then everyone comes down pit road, and guess what? You maintain that P1 spot. So not too bad. Kulikowski, Garrett Austin come down right here. A couple more drivers. Again, green flag pit stops underway as we speak. Everyone expected to take that 4 tires and fuel as they do. Harper on track and Anthony Campbell, the only 2 who have not come down pit road yet. And look at that gap right now. Dylan Banks and Brian Jones. That one lap that Brian Jones came early on. Look at how close that gap is now. This is for that provisional lead once the top 2 come down and pit. And Brian Jones is there. That undercut was extremely smart. And I really feel like if he has a shot at this race, he has to get to him now, have the clean air, and hold him off. We'll see. Brian Jones looking very strong right now. Harper going to be in front of some lap traffic. Rochelle has fresh tires, though, obviously, so not really in contention. But yeah, Harper at this point and Campbell are both looking for a caution flag to come out right now. They need that to happen. If it were to happen, they would trap most of this field down the lap, right? And that's huge for them. But also, it would give them fresh tires more than anybody else to end this race. So, but they are extremely slow compared to everybody else. So that's the downfall, right? If that yellow doesn't come out, they are super screwed because they're just getting passed by all these guys. But that can't happen. Brian Jones, oh man, tried to send it in right there. And he's there, but he just has to get around Banks, right? Banks, I just feel like, is too consistent with his line. Here comes Campbell down pit road. That's P2 right there, going to give it up. So Harper right now, the only driver standing in the way of Dylan Banks and Brian Jones. And here he comes. Cannot wait any longer. Going to come down pit road, the access road here. And we'll surrender that top spot. And here we go. The leaders. Dylan Banks will re-inherit the lead. Brian Jones to P2 still. And man, Jones made the right call to get himself in position to close the gap, right? Undercut a little bit. So far, mission accomplished, but about 0.7 of a second back. So you're really going to find some speed here, but there's still 40 laps to go, right? So don't burn off the tires too far. You know, if you can't beat him immediately, you know, beat him in the long game, right? And that might be what he decides to do here. But overall, fantastic stuff. So after green flag pit stops have occurred, Dylan Banks is up front, Brian Jones in P2. Austin Smith holds on to third spot, and pretty handedly, actually. Right now, about 4 seconds back of the leader, but man, in front of fourth place, about 7 seconds. So he is kind of on an island right now by himself, but not too bad there for a P3. Jacob Malone, P4. Kyle Rochelle holding on to that 5th spot. Joshua O'Connor, P6, up 11 spots, by the way, from where he started. Same thing with Kyle Rochelle, both up 11 spots. So great jobs today from recovering from qualifying times. Good stuff right there. Timothy Harper in 8th spot. Again, we saw him in about that top 5 before the green flag stops, trying to, do what he can, right? But hey, right here, chose the strategy call. Not a bad move. In P8, but has the freshest tires out of anybody here, so he might get himself a couple more spots here as the race goes on. So not too bad of a move right there. Gunther. Kevin Gunther right here in P9. We saw him spin out on pit road, but didn't seem like it affected him a whole lot time-wise, which is nice. So P9 for him. Kulakowski in P10. Going to get pressure here in just a second by Anthony Campbell in P11. So a lot of these guys, fresh tires, trucks are feeling pretty good, feeling pretty racy. Still some good racing left to go. Cody Reeder up to P12 right now after his spin out earlier on, and the unfortunate stage 2 issue at the beginning of that. Garrett Austin right now is being shown as the last driver on the lead lap, and obviously right behind him, as you can see, is the leader Dylan Banks. So he is right there still. Banks is going to close that gap, and it would appear like Garrett Austin will become a lap down here momentarily. Edward Peltz down 1 lap. As we sit, he is the free pass driver, so not too shabby. But yeah, Dylan Banks putting on a show today. 1.5 seconds right now, a second and a half. Good stuff. Let's ride on board real quick. Show you a couple laps around with Dylan Banks, your leader. Yeah, and, man, right there, you can really see. Change the angle just a bit. Yeah, right here, the cockpit view. I mean, yeah, he's kind of counter-steering right into that corner to make sure that the truck stays straight, but doing pretty good. Like, besides some little movements, the truck looks pretty smooth. And obviously, these tires are about 15 laps old at this point. They're relatively new. But look at that traffic up ahead, too. That's going to be huge. And he will catch that here very, very quick. So he's going to have lap traffic to contend with before this race is over. And that could be what Brian Jones needs, because he's not going to catch him on speed alone. He's going to have help here. And that lap traffic could be what it takes. And speaking of which, let's take a look on here. And man, these guys are racing pretty hard. Reeder, Garrett Austin, obviously. A lot of these guys are going to try and stay away from that lap down position. Good stuff so far. Anthony Campbell making a move here for Kevin Gunther. You might catch him here, right? Yeah, middle of the corner. Gonna try and scooch around. He'll have not necessarily the preferred spot entering turn 1, but let's see how that 73 takes care of this one. Sends it down in. Might have to use him up a little bit. Yeah, not a bad move right there for that 73. Good job. Going to get that preferred lane. Entering into turn 3. Should clear him off turn 4 here. There he is. So Campbell up to P9 right now, looking pretty sharp. And again, these guys right here, Garrett, Austin, Reeder, there's the leader. He is right there. So this is something I want us to focus on because this could determine a lot of how this race kind of winds down, right? These boys going to fight for it to stay on that lead lap, or will Dylan Banks just be able to get around them easily? That's the issue. And then when doing so, does Brian Jones catch him at all? And so far, we're seeing some great racing right now. 131 laps into this race. We are at the conclusion here pretty quick. A lot of these guys doing a great job. Dylan Banks, there he is. Quick update on a few. Garrett Austin, obviously Reeder, Kulikowski. Everyone else, though, racing pretty good. Not a whole lot going on. But this is the thing we want to watch out for right now, is the lead driver, Dylan Banks, catching these lap down trucks. I mean, right now, look at the gap right here. 2.4 seconds behind Brian Jones. So the gap right now is about 2.5 seconds, folks. So let's keep that in mind as we see Dylan Banks going to try and make a move here to put these drivers a lap down. Dylan Banks has to get around these guys. He no longer has that clean air, too, keep in mind. So his truck is going to feel and act like he's behind these drivers. We haven't really seen Dylan passing a lot of trucks today. So this could mean a lot. And these guys aren't going to give it up easily, as we see. Gets around Austin right there pretty well. Gonna dive down in. Brian Jones still not able to really pounce on his struggles. If you're Brian Jones, you're hoping that Banks has the worst possible luck getting around these guys. But if you're Dylan, you know these guys aren't going to give it up easily because they need to stay on the lead lap, right? So everyone's racing for something at this point. Move right here, we're seeing Kevin Gunther and Kulikowski might be catching Gunther right there. And look at this, Dylan Banks has caught Cody Reeder. Reeder, I've got a feeling, will make that truck pretty wide to not let Banks around him. 25 laps to go, folks, just like that here in Gateway. The NORA Truck Series. Right now we're going to wind this thing down. We're seeing Dylan Banks just dominating this race. He is trying to track down these drivers on the end of the lead lap. Making it very difficult for him to pass, obviously. So far, so good. Big battle right here. This is for position 2. Everybody behind. So this 51, obviously. Oops. Kulikowski in the 51 here. That's for position. So this is kind of the worst news, right, for Dylan Banks. He's got guys who are racing for position in front of him, but also trying to put him a lap down. So that's the hard part. And right now we're seeing Jones 2.5 seconds back. He's not catching him at all. Jones is actually losing time even though Banks is dealing with lap down traffic. So that just goes to show how much Jones used his stuff up, at least it would appear like. So there's the move right there to put Cody Reeder a lap down. And that's one more right there. So barring a mistake, obviously, from Dylan Banks or even a lap down truck, he's going to walk away with this thing pretty handedly. That 51 just kind of gives it up right there. Doesn't even contest it, really. Loses 2 more spots in the process. And there we go. That's the best news for Dylan Banks. All the while, though, we get some drivers right here going to fight for... These are all 4 positions still. Reeder, Gunther, and Austin. Rochelle holding on to a top 7 spot still. Great job, O'Connor, as well, in that P6. Oh, who's that off right there? Couldn't quite tell who that. Austin Smith, I believe. Yes, it was. In the 9. Got super loose out of turn 2, but he's good to go now. That was close. And he was in 3rd spot by a lot. Still is. By about 4 seconds now. It was about 7 seconds. So Austin Smith holding on to a pretty solid P4. Or P3 as we speak. Malone as well in P4. Harper in 5th. Harper again. He's the guy that stayed out real late. Right after everyone else came in for their green flag stops. And he was about 8th spot. He's back up to P5 right now. So that strategy still worked out for him, so good stuff. Has the newest tires out of anybody on the track, right? So he can still catch Malone right there. Probably not Smith with the time left, but yeah, caution comes out and nobody pits. Harper could be in that, could be in a good spot. Still a pretty good amount of time left to go before we end this race, and Dylan Banks is holding on to that spot very, very well. Real quick, folks, we're going to go one more time to Race Day Nonstop. It'll be the last time we hit commercial break before the end of the race. We'll come right back, folks. You won't miss a single thing.
Hey guys, this is Kevin from KK Woodscapes. Wanted to say how excited we are to be a sponsor for the ASRA Cup Series this upcoming season. This is just some of the pieces we've created over the years. We can work with you and bring any special victory to life. To order, or if you have any questions, please scan the QR code for Instagram or contact me through the Discord. And hopefully, we'll be bringing your virtual victory into reality one day.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping, Rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, Rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
What's going on, folks? Welcome back to Race Day here. We are at the NORA Truck Series in Gateway. We are 15 laps to go here. Dylan Banks has led the majority of the race in the laps and has looked just incredibly dominant in his race today. That 3M number 16 machine looking pretty good. Brian Jones trying to get through the field right now and all the lap down traffic and getting through it, but not as efficiently as Banks. 3.5, just about seconds back behind Banks, doing what he can. Obviously, at this point, we've gone green now for quite a while, so the yellow flag would change a whole lot right now. So we've gone green now for about, oh man, lap 60 laps or so. Actually, no, 90 laps of green flag racing just about. So really good stuff thus far. We're seeing some great racing all around the track. These two right here fighting for a position. Gunther and Austin here for P12 and 13. Man, good stuff. Gonna make the pass here. That 43, I believe we just saw an incident as well that did not cause the yellow. Let's go back real quick if we can. Kulikowski, what happened here? Oh, got punted a little bit by the 73. Goes off track. Oh, okay, so no, didn't spin out. All good. Kept it going. Nice job. We thought that was way worse than what it actually was, but Kulikowski kept it on track. Good stuff right there. Quick run through the field, folks, with 12 laps to go. Dylan Banks is your leader. Has led majority of the race, looking very, very fast today. Brian Jones in P2. Awesome run for him. Austin Smith in third spot. Austin Smith, keep in mind, folks, at one time today, he was 3 laps down. And right now, in position for a podium. Very impressive. Jacob Malone up to P4 right now. Smart move so far. Great job. Harper as well, right behind him. And Harper stayed out during the green flag pit stops quite a while ago. Right now has the fastest car on track, and also, too, the newest tires. So, might try and steal one more away from Malone right here, but not too bad. O'Connor in P6, holding on to a solid effort right here. Up and down day, but holding on strong. Up 11 spots on the day, actually. So, great recovery job. Rochelle in P7. Again, as well, has kind of been hovering around that 5th through 7th spot the entire race, and right now doing what he has to do to get a good finish. Not bad. Hoffenbarger, again up and down day a little bit, but P8 not too bad. Campbell, 9th spot. At one point was in 3rd, but handling of that truck wasn't quite where he wanted it, and couldn't quite get himself a better spot. But right now, P9, top 10 is always a good day. Kulikowski, we just saw him get loose off the corner there and get some contact with that 73, but here he is holding on to the top 10. Reader, if you were here for it at the beginning of stage 3, or 2, excuse me, he was right there. One of the leaders had a money shift or some kind of spun the tires, caused a huge mess, obviously, and had some damage that he couldn't really come back from. Right now, P11, Garrett Austin, P12. Decent day today. Kevin Gunther in 13th spot, all holding on. Those last 4 are all 1 lap down, and then Edward Peltz on the track. Great to see. Right now is 3 laps down for Edward. So, trying to do what he can here. Everyone else is either out of the race or in the pits or some pretty heavy contact. So, not too bad right now. Dylan Banks, though, up front in that P1 spot. 8 laps to go. Man, cannot say enough about his race today. Just super dominant. Just knows how to get the job done today, and very impressive for his, I believe, his debut race. So very good stuff for him. Austin Smith passing a couple lap down cars right here. Harper and Malone. I feel like this is going to be the battle we're going to watch out for in these closing laps. Harper is right there. And again, he's got the freshest tires. I think a P4 for him after his strategy call would be pretty big. Top 5 is a good job too, but he's gonna try and get this thing done right here. Right on board for about a lap and see how we can handle it. Oh, the 17 big checkup right here. Oh man, Malone, a huge slide. Man, what a masterful job though of holding on to that truck to not spin out completely by that 17 of Malone. Very impressive stuff. Kept it going straight. Got passed obviously by Harper, but man, really good stuff. Harper then takes away P4. It's a good recovery today. Started P4 on the day. Looks like might finish P4 for the day, so a great job nonetheless. Everyone else having a pretty quiet conclusion to their race today in Gateway. Everyone pretty much single file and holding on to their spot. Dylan Banks, man, here he is. Just so impressive. And again, this is one of those tracks that I really feel like it's difficult. It's super difficult. In my opinion, the race is like a road course, right? You're downshifting, you're trying to, deal with, counter steer to try and keep that truck, going straight. And it's not easy. It definitely isn't easy. Right now, though, we're seeing him doing pretty well. Definitely mastered this track. And very minimal cautions on the day, too, folks. I believe we've had, what, 2, 3? Extremely a few. And that's always great to see on a hard track like this. So impressive as always. This NORA Truck Series has never disappointed, I'll tell you that. Brian Jones 4 seconds back, gonna hold on to a second spot if he holds on to this right here. Austin Smith P3, Harper in P4, Malone 5th. Great runs all around right now. O'Connor P6, a great run in that 98. Rochelle in P7, Puffenbarger in 8th spot. Might track down Rochelle right there if he can get to him, but 2 laps to go, might be difficult. Campbell in P9 and Kulikowski. There he is in P10 right there. 1 lap down, but holding on to that top spot. Dylan Banks, though, going to come around turn 3 and 4, and he will get the white flag here for the NORA Truck Series in Gateway. And again, just a super impressive performance here by Dylan Banks. Has gotten the job done today. Just up front, consistent, and super fast, right? Smooth in the wheel. Didn't make any mistakes on pit road. And just did his thing, right? He won the pole. He won stage 1 and stage 2. And coming out of turn 4, gonna get the perfect game today, as they say, and win today in Gateway for the NORA Truck Series. Man, super impressive run today for the 16. Rarely do you see dominance of that nature here, really in any form of racing, right? I mean, whether it be iRacing or real world racing or, whatever it is. But man, today, Dylan Banks just put on a show and did it in style. So great job for Dylan Banks. Brian Jones, P2, 3rd spot. Austin Smith, Harper, P4, and Jacob Malone in 5th. Rounding up the top 10, O'Connor, Rochelle, Puffenbarger, Campbell, and Kulikowski are going to be your top 10. Dylan Banks going to come down and burn these tires down. Celebrate his first win of the season here. Good stuff for Dylan Banks. There he goes. Awesome stuff for Banks. We'll talk to him in just a second, as well as the top 3 in general. We'll come right back, folks, after a word of our sponsors. Stick around. Alrighty, welcome back, folks, to the NORA Truck Series here in Gateway, and we have concluded the race. Big race here for Dylan Banks, but right now we're going to bring in Austin Smith, who finished 3rd spot on the day, and man, what a huge day for him. Obviously didn't get the win, or maybe what he wanted, but what a great day. Actually, so far, not seeing Austin Smith in or available, excuse me, so I don't think we can bring Austin Smith in. Yeah, not seeing him available to bring in for chat, but that's okay. Quick debrief on him, man. Hey, 3 laps down, came back from it, had a top 3 truck. Really good day for Austin Smith. Would have gotten a word from him, but don't see him available, so do apologize for that. Sometimes they just up and leave. Yeah, it can happen, but all good. Huge congrats to a top 3 for Austin Smith. Next, we'll bring in P2 on the day, Brian Jones. Here he is. He is available. I see him right here. Let's bring him in. Where did he go? Here he is, Brian Jones, finishing P2 on the day. A strong truck obviously got involved on that stage 2 mishap on the beginning of the restart, but overall, you fought your way back to the front, finished P2, man. How'd the race go for you?
Not too good. I mean, this track is just so important to have track position. I just couldn't get track position all night. That stage 2 restart really set me back. I had to kind of come from the back, work my way up through the field, and then kind of do it again in stage 3. And I don't know, I was hoping there that I could catch the leader off guard and come down pit road as soon as the window opened. But he saw me do it, and of course he came down the next lap, and I wasn't able to make the most of it, so it didn't work out, but we'll take P2 tonight.
Yeah, that undercut was definitely the right move. You got a lot of time right there, but yeah, P2, man, not a bad day so far, obviously, for you. And hey, real quick before we let you go, give us your shout-outs, sponsors, friends, family. What do you got?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to give a big shout-out to Home Field Apparel. They're making some really cool Indy 500 T-shirts and, collegiate apparel, all kinds of stuff that they do over there. Go check them out and use code Alanis24 at checkout to get 15% off your order. Also, if you like coffee, go to Apex Coffee Roasters, get some coffee, and use code Alanis at checkout to get 15% off as well.
Nice. Sounds great, man. Hey, good job again today. We'll catch you next week, dude. Awesome job.
Yep, thanks, Steve.
All right, there he is, Brian Jones with a solid P2. Tell you what, always a threat every single race, and had a good day today again. Dylan Banks, we're going to get him in real quick. Here he is. Dylan Banks, we talked to him at the end of stage number 1 and felt pretty good, obviously, about your race. And, man, here we go again, talking to you at the end of the race as the winner. Looking very good. You did the perfect game, man. You won the pole, the stages, and the race win. So, how's it feel, dude?
Feels great, man. Finally got a win in the trucks. I'm not the best in the trucks. I told Cody Reader it feels like a fluke because the cup cars are like, that's what I'm best at. So grateful for the opportunity. Cody Height couldn't make it. He won't make it this week at all. He's on vacation. Happy to put this 16 in victory lane. That's a good feeling, man.
Good stuff, man. Hey, it's always a good day to win a race, and Gateway's tough, right? It kind of acts as like a road course in a way, downshifting, and after counter steer, we saw you just manhandling that wheel all race long, and definitely tough conditions. But yeah, real quick, man, give us your shout outs, any friends, family, sponsors. Who you got?
Oh yeah. Firstly, I want to thank EPI, raceepi.com. They always give me killer sets. I know this ain't an open setup league, but big shout out to them guys. Shout out to Chris Tinsley at Turn Down Production. He's the one that does my paints. Does an amazing job. I want to thank the guys at Flatline Motorsports for bringing me in with open arms, allowing me to run with them in the trucks and cup. They have been awesome to me. Josh, Cody, Vinny, all the guys there, they are awesome. I love the guys. And lastly, I wanna give I want to give a shout out to Cody Hype for letting me run his truck tonight. So happy I could get it in victory lane for him. Big shout out to Cody. And lastly, I want to thank you, man. You do an amazing job week in and week out in the broadcast booth. Very thankful to have you here. I was planning on coming out there with you tonight because I didn't know how I was feeling in the trucks tonight. And Cody
good.
Cody was, I forgot Cody was on vacation this week, and I didn't want the 16 truck not to get points for owner points this week. So
And just sure
definitely
did.
wanted to hop in. Hey, it worked out perfect, man. It did. But I will be up in the booth with you. I can promise you before the end of the season, I will be out there with you. But,
Hell yeah, man.
Big thanks to you, man.
Love that, man. Good job again today. Go celebrate, dude, and we'll catch you next time, man.
Yes, sir, man. Have a great night, buddy.
You too. All right, there he is, Dylan Banks, man. He can do it all, right? You get the commentator booth, win the truck races. Unbelievable. Just a stud. Looking good today, though, in that truck. Cody Height, obviously not here today, and subbed in for that, so very impressive stuff, as always. But, folks, that's going to be it for us today. That was Gateway. There are the unofficial results on the left side of your screen. Gateway is always proven to be a fun time. As you can expect, tough track and tough conditions. And he mentioned the Cup Series. Hey, guess what? Tomorrow, for the ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series, they're going to be back here at Gateway. It's round number 2, the round of 8 of the playoffs. So 3 races left to go, and they're kicking it off in Gateway. So a lot of fun. The next gen Cup cars, or I guess Gen 7, I guess you can call them now. Going to be back here at Gateway. Going to be a lot of fun. Playoff racing. So stick around for that, folks. 9 p.m. tomorrow night Eastern time. Be there. Very, very fun league, and they put on one hell of a show. So check us out for that, and then also Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern time for the Extreme Graphics Next Gen Series. That'll be as well on the channel. So a lot of good stuff coming your way here for race day. That's it, folks. Have a good night. We love you. Take care.